Hello, Common Mystics listeners. I'm Jennifer James.
I'm Jill Stanley.
We appreciate our listeners, both those who have been with us the whole time since the beginning and those who've recently found us.
And we also appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. People have been leaving us messages and shooting us emails, letting us know that you want more mystics. You don't want this crap coming in June and only running until October. We hear you, and so we've made a change.
So starting today, we will be dropping an episode every other week, year round.
Yay! So in efforts to do this at the last minute, our sister Jessica, who's a very talented astrologer, had given us time to record her explaining some of the ins and outs of astrology. So please enjoy this new bi-weekly episode schedule, and our first being with our very special guest and sister, Jessica Adams.
And she'd love to hear from you via email
at starfishastrology@gmail.com.
Enjoy. On this episode of Common Mystics, we invite another member of our mystical family to discuss the topic of astrology. I'm Jennifer James.
I'm Jill Stanley.
We're psychics.
We're sisters.
We are common mystics. We find extraordinary stories in ordinary places. And today we're talking with Jessica Adams.
Jennifer, you know her from such things as stealing your makeup and stealing your birthday. Jessica Adams.
Yay!
She's our sister.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Jess, you really picked up the astrology bug.
I did.
Why? How did that happen?
Well, as you guys know, Mom was really into astrology. She used to do charts and readings, and she was really into it. So, but really, honestly, because as you both know, Jennifer and I share a birthday. And I always felt we were so different in a lot of ways. And I thought, how could that be if our birthday is the exact same day, but 5 years apart? So it kind of got me in this researching and how, the signs are different and how they, even if you have the same birthday, how they can still be different. So it kind of started my path.
You mentioned that you remembered Mom doing astrology when we were kids.
I do. I remember her laying on her stomach with the charts in front of her, kind of like with the planets and everything, like in a big book showing the signs and where they were in different dates. And yeah, I remember her totally doing that.
Well, just out of curiosity, what else do you remember about our childhood and the paranormal? Because you might recall that Jill and I have talked about some of our memories and experiences growing up.
I have to stop you. We're assuming you listen to this show.
I do, and many times I'm yelling at my phone, basically being like, wait, trying to add things that you guys left out.
Well, now's your chance.
Yeah, you finally have a chance.
Well, as far as paranormal, I would say that one thing that always stuck with me was something that Mom told me. And as you know, our old house, the house that we grew up in, was very haunted. We always had even if...
In Forest Park?
Yes, in Forest Park. Even if you were if definitely when you were home alone, from school or whatever, no one else would be in the house, you'd always hear or feel like someone else was in the house constantly. I know you guys know that.
Absolutely.
And I just remember Mom telling me a story where she was upstairs laying in our room on our sister's bed on her stomach, and her head was towards the wall. And she was just laying there, and she heard someone coming up the stairs, assuming it was one of us. And when she heard someone get to the top of the stairs, she heard the door open, and she thought it was our other sister coming in and talking to her, but she didn't hear any voices, but she did feel, after the door opened, she felt something like the bed go down, like someone sat down right between her legs, that she was laying on her stomach. And then she's like, okay, I'll be up in a second. Hello. And there was no one there. And she was freaked out enough to even tell me. She was freaked out about it. It was just scared me going into our room after that, if you're by yourself or whatever.
And Jess.
Yeah.
We've seen so many psychics and had so many psychics at the house.
Yes.
Who is your favorite?
I like the coffee ground reader. I also like Michael Lean a lot too. I think she's very accurate with me. But
She was like a family friend. She was over at the house so often giving psychic readings.
she was even at your wedding?
She was. She did a toast at Jennifer's wedding.
This is funny. Did you know this, Jess?
What?
Do you remember Michaeline giving a toast at my wedding?
Yeah, of course. And everyone was running scared. You didn't know.
Well,
Yes, exactly.
Because her toast was something to the effect of cherish every moment because you don't know what the future will bring. And we're all like, oh shit. And then Jill confronted her in the women's bathroom and like put her hands on her shoulders. I was like, what do you know?
It was scary. I remember being freaked out too. I think I ran with her.
Classic Jill fashion.
No, I think I ran with her.
Thank you.
We were
It was
all
scary.
scared. We're like, what was that all about?
I was like, tell us everything right now.
What do you all do? And she's like, God, it was just a toast.
I know. She was like trying to find her cigarette. She was like, relax, everyone, calm down.
I know, we were.
I like the coffee ground lady too. Do you remember when Jennifer insulted her?
Will you stop?
Do you remember
I don't remember
Will
when
you
she
stop,
insulted
seriously?
her. What did you do?
We were at her house. We went to her house. It was me, you, Sonia, and Jennifer.
There were like 6 of us.
And we had a cousin with us.
Right. And we had, I don't know, I feel like we gave her a lot of money that day for all the readings. Yeah. I mean, well, she was well deserved, right?
Exactly. She
Right.
was good.
But then after, I'm probably going to cut all this out. But after the reading,
You are
I was
not-
sitting.
She's not cutting this out.
I was sitting in her living room with her, and she had finished, the readings, and she says, "Oh, I've been so busy lately. I'm so exhausted," or something, whatever. And I go, "Well, you make your own schedule, right?"
God.
And,
Rude.
like, just schedule less.
Classic
It's classic.
Jennifer. Wow. Wow.
I mean, it didn't occur to me till later. She wasn't really asking my, my expertise on scheduling.
She was making small talk and
She
you
was.
insulted her.
I
You're
know.
like,
She's like,
"Wow."
all right, well, time to go.
Okay.
Cutting that out.
No, you're not. Leave it. Okay. Jessica.
Yes.
You spoke a little bit about why you got into astrology, but I only know as much as Mom would describe from my natal chart. Is that where you would start if you had an interest?
Well, definitely you'd want to get your natal chart. And with that, you need to have just the location, your birth date, and your time of birth. And after that, you start with basically your sun sign, which I believe everyone pretty much knows, right? Everyone kind of knows their sun sign. And then, which is basically your basic personality. And
Jessica, when someone would look at a horoscope in a newspaper, they're looking at their sun sign.
no, actually that's another misconception too. They write the horoscopes based on what is rising on the eastern horizon, and that is actually your rising sign. So if you are reading your horoscope daily and you're not really feeling that like it's, like it pertains to you,
Accurate.
I definitely would read my rising sign as well, because that's what they truly base the horoscope readings on. So your rising is extremely important.
So the only way to know your rising sign is if you get your natal chart done.
I mean, yeah, you get your natal chart done, and it changes like every 10 minutes or so. So every 10 minutes, it's a new.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's extremely.
It's
moves
a new
fast.
rising sign?
Yeah, every few minutes. That's why it's the time of birth is very important.
I want you to explain why reading your sun sign in the newspaper horoscope is inaccurate. Why that might be it. Can you explain that?
Yes. Okay, so when you are reading your newspaper horoscope, they base that on whatever's their rising signs, right? They're basing it on what's rising on the eastern hemisphere. So when you're reading it for your sun sign, which pretty much everyone does. But if you took a second and found out what your rising sign was and read it for that sign inside of the horoscopes, I bet you it would be 100% more accurate, because of the fact they're basing it on whatever's rising in the east.
Okay. Now, this is my next question. You said that what's really important to know is not just your sun sign, but your sun, your moon, and your rising or descendant.
Yes.
So what will the moon tell you about your personality, and where would I get that information?
Well,
Good question.
Okay, well, the moon is very important. Obviously, both the sun and the moon in anyone's birth chart, being the luminaries, the moon represents basically your personality, imagination, your mother, the maternal side, and your emotions. The moon placement is like, the moon is who you are when the lights go off, when no one's around, like who you are emotionally, think about it like this. Your sun is like what you shine onto the world, and your moon is who you are when the lights go out.
Wow, I like that. That's powerful.
So that would be that.
And your descendant or your rising sign is...
Your rising sign?
Right.
Your rising sign is the mask that you wear when people meet you, how you are portrayed, or how they're receiving you when they meet you. It's not really who you are, but it's the mask.
Other people's perception.
It's the mask that you wear.
Jill was saying descendant. Is it a descendant or an ascendant? Or do we have both?
We have both. There's an ascendant, and which is your rising sign. It's the same exact thing.
Right.
And then
the descendant is the sign that's going down.
Right. So if you looked at your chart and it was like a clock.
Can I just say that I meant the rising sign? So I'm sorry about that. I meant the ascendant.
Oh, I thought you were meaning both, the descendant and
I want to know now. I didn't know about the descendant. I just messed up the word. Please.
No,
What's the descendant?
So your descendant is who you attract.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Who's mine, Jess?
I don't have yours in front of me right now. Jeez. Everyone, Jill. No, I don't have
Good answer.
But I don't have that in front of your chart in front of me. But what's also another thing that's very important when you're looking at your natal chart, besides the sun, obviously, the moon, obviously, and your rising sign, is also your Mercury. And that is also very important because it has it's the planet of communication and also your wisdom and your knowledge. And also very, very common, people will say things like Mercury in retrograde, and it's not a good
just gonna ask.
Yeah, it's not a good time to buy anything that's like electronics or anything like communication, phones, stuff like that. They seem to always break or something will go wrong with them, and when it's in retrograde. So the top 3 would be the sun and the moon and your rising. And then the top 5 would be those same 3, but also adding in Venus and Mars.
Interesting.
And then Venus is important because it's basically like what you like, your love and, your harmony and it's like obviously Venus, the goddess of love. It's like, and Mars being the complete opposite. And also being like the way that you like your energy, how determined you are to do things, your ambition. It's like action. It's a planet of action. So.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah.
So someone might go to an astrologer and get their natal chart done and get a lot of insight about their personality, about kind of the forecast of their life, right?
Well, like not only about their personality, but how the perception of them in the world.
Well, that would be,
and who's being drawn to them and repelling against them.
Well, there's 2 things. One would be like the natal chart, just basically would be explaining who you are as a person, what energies make you who you are. And then also if you wanted to do like your own horoscope, they could look at your natal chart and then look at the transits that are coming up, how the planets will be moving and how that relates to your natal chart, and that'll tell you your own personal horoscope, what you can expect to come up, what kind of energies to expect.
So that's like more divination, like predicting what's going to happen based on the alignment of the planets.
I have a question. Are transits the same as a progression?
You can do transits right now. I guess it's a progression would be like a longer term. You know what I'm saying? Where transits like what's happening. Like tonight's a Libra full moon, so it's like that would be a trend. You know what I mean? Or you could do it for a longer period of time.
Yes.
So you can progress a chart to the time of a transit.
Yes, and you could also change your location. Everything also is very, very...
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because the transits I would think would be important if like I wanted to do something in my life, like make a change, and I wanted
sell a house, buy a house,
right?
Go to school.
Exactly. I want to take action, but I want to know when the planets make it most favorable for me to do that. Like, would you be able to tell me that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yes.
And also now location. This was really interesting.
I didn't know this.
Okay. No, seriously.
I really didn't.
Talk about location and how that impacts a horoscope.
Okay, well, personally, I have a personal story that I could put onto this, is that when I was living in Chicago, I had Jupiter, which is the planet of like luck, money, abundance, in my second house, and things are going well.
It was going to be a good day.
Second house is the house of like your, your material, like your money, stuff like that. So if you have Jupiter in your second house, you have bank basically. But it was on a cusp when I moved to New York.
And when you say cusp, it means like it's just about to be out of that house, that section.
Right. It was right on the border, but it was still in the second house.
Got it.
However, when I did my chart after moving to New York, I should have done my chart before coming to New York, but and moved into a different house. So right when that happened, I was feeling it, but I didn't really look to see, and I was like, oh yeah, it changes everything. Planets really do affect who we are as people, and like our moods, day-to-day life. I mean, it can change. Like, I don't think people put enough emphasis on what the energy is really affecting who we are as people.
So would you say that if I were thinking about moving to a different region of the United States, it might be smart for me to consult an astrologist to see maybe which area, like how that would impact the energy in my life?
Definitely.
Would you say that that's correct?
Oh, absolutely.
And you can use the progressions to forecast whether or not it would be a good fit long term.
Right. And I
have so many. Well, we're going to have to talk later because I have so many questions.
I mean, people do it for if they're going to have a baby, like people will time out, what kind of.
Really?
Yes.
I have a couple questions. Could you have a moment to look at my chart, please?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
For real?
Yeah, for real. I'm pulling it up. All right, so I'm pulling your chart up right now. We're Jill.
Okay.
What would you like to know?
When you look at this chart, is there anything super special?
Are you serious right now?
Don't hate. That jumps out at you that you want to tell me about again?
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
God.
I think, and this is interesting though, for real. This really is.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, Jill, you have the 12th house inside of it, you have Mercury. Mercury is communication. 12th house represents like spirituality and mysticism, which is interesting because that basically reads as like Jill's able to communicate Mercury with spirits. So yeah, that was actually pretty freaky. I called you right away to tell you that.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Mom never told me that. I think that I was too young to appreciate what she was telling me when she was going over my chart with me.
I believe that when we went to psychics and stuff as children or as young adults, whatever, I feel like I've heard it multiple times. Like, you guys could be doing what I'm doing, or, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've heard that a lot.
Yes.
Jess, when you look at my chart, is there anything that stands out? I think it's only fair to ask.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on a second.
I was a little jelly.
Jennifer, yours is Mercury, which is communication, and it's in the 8th house. And in the 8th house is the death house, basically. It's also the occult.
Oh.
So that's interesting too. And they're both like second deacon too. So
what does that mean?
It's like not leaving the sign.
Prominent?
They're pretty prominent, prominently established inside of the house. Yes.
Jessica, when you look at your chart, if you can compare you and Jennifer, because you said before that you guys are so different, but I see a lot of similarities between you two. You guys are both sensitive AF, like for real.
I think Jennifer said it the best the other day when I was talking on the phone with her. I'm like her shadow, the shadow part of her, like shadow self of her. And it's true. No.
I didn't. You said that to her?
I did.
Wow.
Because it's
wow.
No.
I don't see that at all.
Okay, well, listen. This is why I say it.
Do you
I don't
wanna
mind
see
it.
what
I think
I
it's
see?
true. By the way, let me just say that I believe it's true. My moon is inside of Scorpio, which is a very secretive. They're the detectives of the zodiac. They're kind of like the dark. You know what I mean? If you were watching a movie and you saw the guy walking in with the leather jacket and just like that guy, you know what I mean? Like just the brooding, like, whatever. That's Scorpio.
Everyone likes a brooding hot guy.
Right,
in a
like
leather
that's
jacket.
like the
That is true.
For
James
real.
Dean.
the Scorpio is that. Exactly. That's who Scorpio is. And that's what my moon is. So that's my emotions are very like, and Jennifer's, even though we both have the sun in Pisces, Jennifer's more, she has like a Virgo/Leo, which is like moon, which means that she's very detail oriented, analytical, likes action driven. She likes to get her work done. Virgo rules the 6th house of work. And it made sense once I started looking in astrology more. And our rising signs are completely different. Leo is Jennifer's, and mine is on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini. So we there's definitely a lot more to it than just sun sign.
I love, by the way, I'm just going to say this because I love that the fact that you were born on my birthday compelled you to study astrology, because you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, this
we
isn't
both
right.
have the
I'm
same
not
birthday. How can we say this isn't right?
Yeah.
I love that. What were you going to say, Jill?
I have a question. I want to know, Jessica, if you can give me some strategies of how to navigate work with Jennifer based on her chart. That's a fair question.
That is a fair question.
That is a fair question. What do I need to know?
Well, Jennifer.
You're a Jennifer sleuth.
Well,
She's a Jennifer whisperer.
Well, Jennifer's very, I mean, I would say for one thing, with Jennifer's Mercury being in Pisces in the 8th house, Pisces is like, the way they communicate isn't so much, they're more like feeling, you know what I mean? Like they feel, they're like a feeling sign.
So much.
So she.
Meaning that I'm sensitive? Is that what you mean?
When you communicate, like you listen to your feelings and your intuition and your things like that when you're getting like information from your surroundings or from other people, like not so much. And
that's true.
Even though she does have the
not so much in your face.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying.
She goes with her
summarizing.
And also Jennifer.
Jessica's agreeing with me.
Jessica, you're not even letting her talk. So how would we know?
Go ahead.
Jessica, please say what you wanted to say.
Jeez. I think
this is going to be the biggest fight.
I think just skip the horoscope and both you guys need therapy.
The biggest fight from this.
Couples therapy.
It's true. It's true.
Oh. I would say this also for any of your listeners that do get their natal charts done, and there's just so much to astrology from like if you were born at a certain time. Like if you're born during the day, the top part of your chart is during the day, and then the bottom part of the chart is at night. So it's like it might resonate more with you. If you're born at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, your sun sign will resonate more with you than your moon sign, and vice versa. So, and that's important. And also whatever planet is the ruler of your ascendant is really strong. It's like that's called your guiding planet, and that's like, so now after you find out who your ascendant is and then where your rising sign is, and you see what planet rules that, then you know that wherever that planet is in throughout your entire chart will be extremely important to you in trying to navigate your horoscope or just who you are as a person.
What's mine?
Who's your ascendant? Your Cancer, so the moon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's important.
So Jennifer wanted to touch on compatibility.
Right. Because first of all, I wanted a little bit of a read on how compatible Jill and I are working together. I think Jill kind of touched on that a minute ago, but
okay, this is another way. This is a little trick for your listeners too, who are not really too read in astrology. It would be to just find out the basics. Would be just the element, so whatever the sign is in their element. Obviously, it's like fire, water, air, earth, and if you could just find out your basic compatibility with a person by that. I mean, there's different.
Wait a second. That means that I'm fire and you guys are water, so you guys put me out.
You might be a little too over the top sometimes, kind of just.
You're a little too over the top.
Wait,
sometimes.
that's you guys also that. You guys put me out is what I just said.
Just like earth and water, like it makes muddy water. Air and fire together, it makes like wildfire. Right? Because if an air sign will...
So like what two signs are like wildfire?
Well, and air signs would be like Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini.
Aw, Chad's a Libra.
And then also... but it's not always necessarily a bad thing, too.
I like Libras.
Also...
It means we have a fiery, passionate love.
Ew.
Hater.
Oh, actually, Libras and Leos together is a very common combination I always hear from different people. And I think our grandparents had it too. And every time I ask someone or find out their zodiac signs, when I hear one of the common combinations is always Leo and Libra. So
that's so cute. Jessica told me that a couple months ago. She was like, Grandpa was a Leo and Grandma was a Libra.
Adorable. So that's air and fire can be a good combination.
It's not always negative. It could be, I mean, depending on the person, and also depending on, you can be a Libra and also have a lot of fire in your chart. It depends on what your rising sign is. What is that would be.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
that's a great point.
this is just a very simplistic way, like shorthand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're just meeting someone and you don't really, I mean, you just basically know there's like an archetype, right? So it's like water and fire. Water kind of just dulls down the flames of the fire. So it kind of brings them back down.
They do.
Same thing.
Thank God. Jesus.
Sometimes fire needs to be put out.
And just like earth signs turn water into mud. So it's kind of like earth signs are very analytical. They're very hands-on material. They're physical, right? And the water is like emotions. So it could kind of mess with the emotions because, you know what I mean? So those two don't really mix together. It makes muddy water. And then you have the same, I mean, you could do it for all the combinations, but it really, like I said, it really depends mostly on your chart ruler and like what that is. But I'm saying if you just meet someone, and the basics would be, if you find out what element they're in and what element you know you're in, you kind of know right away who you're dealing with. That also is very helpful.
Do you think Jennifer and I are compatible?
Definitely, obviously.
I don't know if it's obvious.
Yeah, we fight an awful lot.
This is, I mean, I love you, but we like work together.
You guys have great balance in your strengths together. I was thinking of this while I was getting ready to have this conversation with you guys. Jill's very action, like she will make her, take initiative to do something and then think about it later, where Jennifer is more, she'll think about it.
That happens a lot.
So I was thinking that like while I was getting ready and you guys were calling me over and over, and I was thinking I am more of I have like the Taurian rising sign, so I'm more like you can't really push me, but I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like a bull, like I'll get around to it
and bitch about it the whole time.
Yes, you will.
And Jill's like, come on guys, let's do it. And Jennifer's more like, like just the thinking aspect. So I feel that it really does play out in our lives every day, and you guys are a good combination for each other. I just gotta, I watch you guys do your thing, which is good. You guys, your energies play off each other.
I have
well.
a question. Are you and I a good combination together?
Oh, I like that.
Yes, because you make me want to do things faster. You have me watching you take initiative in things makes me want. I should be doing that, or look how easily it makes me want to do that as well. And I hope it makes you want to stop and think more. And
I'm never like I should stop and think more. But I think Jessica. Actually, that's true. Jessica. There have been many times in my life that Jessica stopped me and was like, "You need to think about this." Or do you have any idea how that looks?
Right.
And I just do it. Where Jennifer.
Agree.
Similarly, Jennifer has stopped me and said, "Don't you know how to get this done by now?"
Well,
so
yes,
those two conversations I've had with both of you.
Well, also Jennifer, me being having the Taurian rising sign, and Jennifer being on the cusp of Virgo and Leo, that's both Earth. So Virgo and Taurus is both Earth signs. So that's how we get that kind of like slow down, think about what you're doing, kind of, and you're like fire action. Let's do this. I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'll explain it later. And we're like, wait a second, total opposite, but.
That's a true statement.
Yeah.
So if you have like the date, time, location of your boyfriend or girlfriend's, right?
Yeah, or where
birth.
Or where he proposes to you.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that next. So first of all, you could do a compatibility chart for two people if you have that information, correct?
Yeah, synastry or compatibility chart, yes.
But where were you going to go with that, Jill?
I was going to say, like, you can forecast a harmony in a relationship based on, like, where you were when he proposed, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do
it. Is that true?
You can do it for any time. I mean...
You could do a chart for a marriage?
You were asking if you want to see when you guys will get married, or you want to look back at what was happening in your life at different time?
No, we're already married.
No, I'm talking about...
I'm taken.
No, for instance, you can... For instance, you can obviously do a chart for a person,
right?
But could you do a chart for, say, a marriage or a business or some other entity?
Yes, definitely you can do it. Especially people do it for businesses all the time to see.
Podcast? You don't say.
It is interesting because basically people do it for countries. I mean, there's many charts of the United States from, they use July 4th as the date.
I remember, that reminds me of something, but I don't remember I feel like Mom did a chart for a country before, Jess.
I believe that's true.
I don't know. I don't remember the context.
For what country?
It was the context of Man Who Saw Tomorrow, I believe.
No. Wait, you're right. You're right.
And you already told the story.
Yes. Never
Mom
mind.
did
Yeah.
a chart of America?
Yes,
I
of
didn't
the
know.
Don't
United
you
States.
remember?
For The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, Jill talked about it in one of our podcasts already, so we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it right now.
It's all gonna get cut out.
It's
That
all
was
very
Jennifer's.
good.
This is all being cut voice.
Okay, so Common Mystics.
Yes.
We just became incorporated
Mm-hmm.
on April 8th of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering did you take any time on that chart?
I did. I pulled it. I'm pulling it.
Shut up! I'm so.
I mean, I pulled it up, and what I have noticed, one of the first things that we obviously see right away is that Leo is prominent.
Fuck yeah, it is. Just kidding.
What does that mean for a business?
Well, Leo is ruled by the sun, right? And Leos believe like the sun is like their personal spotlight. They love to shine. They love to be on stage. They like, so it's good if you want to have an audience, you want
We
someone.
may like it, but we don't have to.
They love performing.
So that's good for a podcast.
That's good for definitely good when you're
100%
trying to get people to look and see what you're doing.
Pay attention.
Or listen rather.
Mhm.
Right, exactly.
Tell your friends. What else?
Also, I would say that there is not only the Leo being like, the center of your business, but also you have to take into account your personal personalities as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, which is good. Your business or your podcast, Mercury is in Virgo, which is good, which is all about serving others in logical ways.
I love that.
And that is
so
what
true.
you are serving
That is
others,
amazing.
spirits, and your listeners as well. Virgos like get to the root of what really matters. You know what I mean? They're very like, I want to know what's going on here kind of thing.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. And Jessica, that keeps us from fighting.
It does.
It really does. Because it's like, okay,
the focus isn't on us.
it's not about us at all. It's about the voice.
I mean, that's definitely true. So yeah, I thought that was interesting too, because those actually seem to go together very well. And then there is Pluto in Capricorn, which is in the 9th house of higher education and spirituality. So that's good. There's a lot here for me to pull this up, but you guys have a lot of good aspects for this to be a successful podcast, which I believe it is.
Thank you so much. Jess, I just want to know, when you're listening to the podcast, what was your favorite episode? Just because I want to know.
I like when you guys came to McGraw.
I did. That's so true. How do you feel about your town? Do you feel
I
safe?
don't appreciate you caling it creepy.
We love creepy towns.
You
Jess.
said it
It's
in
our
the last
jam.
one too. You're like, when we were in McGraw, the creepy AF. I'm like, you say that so many times, even when it has nothing to do with your podcast that you're working on. I'm like, geez.
That's a true statement.
But it
That's
is.
true. But it's like notably, like for real, it's like notably creepy.
I did tell you before you guys came here to visit, but I always felt like the vibe to this town is very just haunted house feeling. Even when you're outside, you're walking, it really does feel like.
It really is.
Yeah.
You said that, but I thought you were exaggerating. I didn't really expect that.
No, it definitely has that vibe. So yeah, that was a favorite one. I did appreciate the Beckworth one too. I hear about that one.
Oh.
That was a good one.
What did you like about Beckworth?
I liked witnessing how your relationship unfolded, Jennifer.
their budding love story.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well, we love you so
I
much.
love you guys too.
And I know if people had the opportunity to contact you and learn more about their own charts and their own compatibility, they're going to love you too. But not as much as us.
Thank you.
Do you have contact information we can share?
Yes, and I love you both too. And my contact information would be at starfishastrology@gmail.com. And we can go over the planets where you were born. We could do if you're changing location or synastry with someone else, compatibility with someone else, and do reading for you.
Thank you so much. I honestly learned a lot.
This was fun. I want to have you on again because I feel like another Pisces can really help balance out some of the Leo over there.
That's rude.
Is it?
You know what? I don't even know what to say. I literally don't even know what to say.
I love you.
Even
I was
like
just
Mom.
kidding.
Telling Mom. Screw you too.
No, but honestly, Jill,
Okay.
your energy does help a lot. I mean, it helps a lot with just motivating
Oh my
people,
gosh.
and it does. So,
You like me? Please check out Jessica and contact her at
starfishastrology@gmail.com.
Also, check out our website, commonmystics.net. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Common Mystics Podcast. Tune in and listen to us on wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
But if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review and share us with your friends.
Thank you so much, you guys. Jessica, thank you.
Jessica, thank you. Love you so
Yay!
much.
I love you. Thank you. Mwah.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good
Thanks for
night.
having